Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we are seeing at the end of the description of the fruitive activities, karmic activities, which results from the combination of a man and a woman. So, continuing with that, in this verse, through a very nice analogy, one example, it is explained how the spirit soul is eternal, body is temporary. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So let us see this example now. So this is an example of how, like say, two things. The instrument for us to see and the organ of seeing. Either of them, if they cease to work, just like the first example is like say the instrument to see, like spectacles. Some of us we wear spectacles. What if it becomes broken? The glass or the instrument becomes broken. We'll not be able to use it. So we discard that and then take another. So till maybe sometimes it may happen, somehow accidentally it gets broken. We place an order, maybe it may take 1 or 2, 3 days for it to come. Till then our vision will be blurred. We may not be able to see, we may not be able to read properly. Once it comes, then again we wear, again yes, we go ahead with our activities. Likewise, at one point of time, one kind of a body will be given, we are doing certain activities. And then a point of time comes, death. There is no more body to act. And then a body will be given, again our activity continues. Reactionary work. A lot of karmic reactions are pending, a lot of desires are pending, and based on that, another body we get, another instrument we get, and we go ahead doing our activities. Another example is of the eye itself. The eye itself is an organ in the body. Due to some diseased condition, Prabhupada mentions, morbid affliction of the optic nerve. Morbid means some diseased condition. When the eye, the optic nerve is with some diseased condition, then the eyesight may not be there, we may not be able to see at all. So we may go to a doctor, a physician, and get it treated. It may be cataract or whatever, some treatments are there. When during that diseased condition, we will not be able to see. And once we go to the doctor, we get it treated, again we start seeing and go ahead with our activities. So here we should observe how, when the instrument of seeing, maybe the spectacles is broken, or the eye is in diseased condition, at that moment, at that point of time, we will not be able to see anything. But the desire to see still exists. The experience of past, whatever we have seen, that is still there. At that temporary moment, at that point of time, he may not be able to see. Later, again when circumstances are favorable for his seeing, he continues to see. So this transformation period is birth and death. So this is how we need to understand. So let us see again through the Sanskrit verse. Dravya upalabdhi sthanasya. Objects, place, upalabdhi, its perception. Dravya iksha ayogyata yada. Yada dravya iksha ayogyata. The eyes becomes incapable of seeing. Ayogyata yada, at that point of time. Tat panchatvam ahammanat. Panchatva means death. Just like death of the eyes or death of the spectacle. We don't say that, but it's broken or instrument is gone. Similarly, the body also. We call it as death. Panchatva means it has become one with the 5 elements. Now no longer it ceases to exist. So that's referring to death. Tat panchatvam ahammanat. It's all because of this ahammanat. When I identify myself with this body, the experience of death I have to undergo. If at all we start identifying with the spectacles, oh, my spectacle is gone, it is broken, I'll throw it, take one more. Easily we do that because we don't identify with our spectacles much. We know I am different, my spectacles are different. Same perception we should have with our body also. I am different, this body is different. Something happens to this body, why to be too much worried about it? Tat panchatvam ahammanat utpattir dravya darshanam. Again utpatti, when birth takes place, again dravya darshanam, he starts seeing everything. Yatha akshnor dravya avayava darshana ayogyata yada tada eva chakshusho drashtur drashtritva ayogyata anayoh. So anayoh means both. The eye or the instrument of seeing, everything. Now I am able to see. When death comes, I will not be able to see. Again, when the perception begins, when I am capable of seeing it, that is known as birth. This is the simple meaning of this verse. So, as Prabhupada states here, quoting from Bhagavad Gita, Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nityaha shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It's a very important verse from Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning itself, Krishna explains to Arjuna about the distinction between the spirit soul and the body, material external body. The soul na jayate mriyate va kadachit. There is no birth, there is no death for the spirit soul. Na ayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. It doesn't take birth or it doesn't die, either in the past, in the present, or in the future. It is aja, it is nitya, it is shashvata, it is purana. Shri Krishna Balarama ki jai. Ajo nityaha, it is unborn, eternal, ever-existing and primeval. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Even when the body is slain, even when the body is slain, the soul continues to exist. It is not slain. That means it doesn't undergo death. So this is one of the basic, fundamental understanding of spiritual life. We are not this body, we are spirit souls. So, various places we see in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavatam, especially the teachings of our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, with various examples, Prabhupada explains this. In various places. Once they were going for a morning walk in a park. There is one log of wood lying, a dead branch lying one side, and surrounding so many plants, trees, shrubs, grasses are there. So Prabhupada points out and says, see, this is dead. It is disconnected from the main trunk or whatever, now it is dead, it doesn't grow. Whereas here, there is one small plant or some shrub or some grass, it grows, it exhibits, it has got life, but this has not got life. Earlier, this also was living, and now it is in whatever it is, dead condition. The soul is not there. So likewise, the body and soul. Likewise, various examples Srila Prabhupada gives. Let us recollect few of them, important ones, because this understanding is very important. Because this understanding helps us grow in our spiritual life, sustain ourselves in spiritual life. If at all we start identifying with this body, because this is how it happens, theoretically we will be knowing, but over a period of time we start forgetting. Especially if we associate with people outside the world, materialistic people who are completely engrossed in their understanding of their bodily existence, 24 hours engaged in satisfying the demands, requirements of the body. Their entire existence is based on the body. So we also come from the same background. So theoretically we have understood, but again and again we need to recollect this, remember this, and reinforce this understanding. So for this, one example is of the dress, body and the dress. That is given in the Bhagavad Gita itself. How the person is there and he wears a dress, a shirt, pant, coat, these things. When the clothes become old, he discards it and takes up another dress. So likewise, the soul has taken up this dress, this kind of a body, and when this body is incapable, no longer usable, it discards it and takes up another dress. Very in a comic way, Srila Prabhupada, in one place he explains how a man, he is drowning and he asks for help. Another man jumps, dives into the river, goes, swims across and goes to the place where that man is drowning, and he catches hold of his coat or hat, something, and comes back. I have saved this person. What saving is there? The person has drowned, he is dead and gone. Simply saving his coat or shirt or pant, that doesn't help. Then the example of bird and the cage. There is a bird, it is bounded or put inside a cage and locked and kept. The bird is screaming, and especially Prabhupada tells a story of a queen wherein she is so engrossed in taking care of the cage, external cage, the golden cage, what she has, nicely cleaning and polishing and all of those things. In the due course, she has forgotten feeding the bird inside. And what will happen one fine day? The bird dies. So likewise, we also, so much if we are engrossed, taking care of our external body, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, engrossed in these bodily activities, forgetful of the requirement of the soul, connection towards Krishna, loving service towards the Supreme Lord. When this connection is lost, then the soul is deprived of its requirement. It's in like that hunger is there. Like Satchidananda hunger. That transforms through the starts seeking. It requires like such ananda, the soul requires a pleasure from connection, loving devotion with the Supreme Lord. When this is not provided, what will happen? It is identifying through the body, and the same happiness it is hankering through the external body. It's like beggary, whatever, beggars. They don't have any food, full of hunger, and whatever they get, they eat that. Likewise, the soul, if it is not satisfied with connection with the Supreme Lord, then through the external body, whatever beggary happiness it seeks for in the material world, something it starts like exploiting or wanting that. But never those things will give true happiness for the spirit soul. So this is one. Another, machine and its operator, or maybe the car and the driver. The external car is there, inside the driver is there. If the driver doesn't start the vehicle, the car, not an inch it will move. It may be big machinery, highly sophisticated. Without the press of the button by the operator or by the user, the machine won't work. Likewise, without the existence of the spirit soul, this complex machine, this human body, it never works. Now it is in working condition due to the existence of spirit soul. When the spirit soul leaves the body, the entire machine stops working. Then, giving the example of a rented house and a tenant, another good example to show how we are all tenants. This house actually doesn't belong to us. Owner is different person, the Supreme Lord. We are all tenants. Temporarily we are using bargain money, temporary. Depending on the karma what we have done, our desire. So based on that, one kind of a house we may occupy as tenants. And based on the instructions given by the owner, we have to use that house. And any point of time, the owner may kick us out also. That whatever that prerogative he has, we are temporarily given that space for our utilization. Likewise, this body, the owner is the Supreme Lord. We are not the owners. So we are temporarily staying in this body. When it terminates, then we have to give up the body and go. And then take search for another house, another body. We have to transmigrate. And one more, the example of oil and water. When mixed, the oil or whatever, that component retains its existence. It doesn't become one with the water. Both are completely different, having different characteristics. Likewise, though the soul is there inside the body is material. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, we say. This is completely different, and the soul, the characteristics of that is completely different. There is this incompatible, merging of the two, body and soul. It doesn't become one. That incompatible combination, temporary combination we are seeing now. Though it is there inside the body, material body, the spirit soul doesn't become one with the body. Just like another philosophies, there Shunyavada and they don't believe in soul, body, everything one. When body, everything is gone and everything becomes zero. Some other philosophies are there, but no. Soul continues to exist. The body is temporary, it dies one day. The soul and the body, doesn't merge with each other. No, Both have got their separate existence. Both are the energy of the Supreme Lord, but one is superior, one is inferior. This distinction is there. So all of these things are described, especially in the Bhagavad Gita, and Srila Prabhupada, through his wonderful analogies, wonderfully, we can understand very clearly the distinction between the body and the spirit soul. Likewise, the same thing, just like in this purport or in this shloka of today, using the analogy of a spectacle instrument to see, that is temporary, and the person himself, he is different. He has got the desire to see, everything is there, but temporarily the facility, the faculty of seeing will be taken away from him, and then another faculty or facility will be provided, and he continues to perform his activities. So like with the spirit soul, one kind of a body is given, he is working in one way, that body will be taken away, another body will be given, he acts according to that body. After that, another body. Like that, this transmigration is going on and on and on. So here, how just yesterday we heard, Stavara Jangama Dekhe, Na Dekhe Tara Murti, Sarvatra Spurive Tara, Ishta Deva Spurti. This is how a devotee should become. We see all Stavara, Jangama, moving things, and immobile, like moving and Stavara, stationary things. Whatever we may see, actually we should look out for the spirit inside. Giving the example of the mother, because of her love towards her child, though she may see some instruments, the clothes or shoes or slippers of that whatever child who is not there now, the mother looks at the child, they are looking at the objects. So likewise, everywhere throughout this world, we see so many things. We should develop our vision in this way. The spirit soul and the source of the spirit, who is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Spirit. That's the place where our focus should be. All the external things, it is temporary. It may be gross or subtle. In a subtle forms, it takes manifestation through different, even like say emotions, what we have, happiness, distress, anger, frustration, depression, happiness, joy, pride, humility. All of these are different transformations, and all of them are temporary. Ultimately, we are spirit soul. This is the vision what we should have for ourselves and for others also. This is how Maya works on us. Only these two things Maya will keep telling us. Just think like this, there is one personality Maya, she keeps telling in our ears, you are this body, other people they are their body. You are this body and they are their bodies. And her job is done. Rest everything, the mind, whatever, the structure, it will take care. The instrument is designed in that way. The machine is designed in that way. The software is installed. Which button, one button you press here, tuck, 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 next what should happen? Everything is structured there. This is the first, this main thing. You are this body, others are their bodies. This, what we say, this should be cracked. This is what it should be cracked. Through the Avarnatmika Shakti and Pakshepatmika Shakti, Maya makes us identify with this body. And for this cracking requires power, energy from the Supreme Lord. So that we get through the chanting of His holy names, reading His or hearing His message repeatedly, serving the Supreme Lord engaging all of our senses in His service. Only by this cracking of the Avarnatmika Shakti can happen. Otherwise, how much ever we read, repeatedly hear, it is not so easy to come out of the bodily existence, to come out of the understanding that I am this body. People connected to this body are mine, things connected to this body belongs to me, all of these things, it's very difficult. So, it is so very important for us to engage in devotional service intently. Only to that we'll be able to come out of the existence of body. And then, so this continues. If you don't do this, again, as it is said here, the reactionary activities will continue. In the previous verses we saw, this life he is a man, he's got the body of a man, he's attracted to a woman. And when he dies, next he gets the body of a woman. And then that woman, she gets attracted to a man. And this cycle goes on and on and on. If at all we want to stop this, the only process is intense devotional service. By the power received from the Supreme Lord, we can crack this illusion that we are these bodies. And then only will be re-established in our original spiritual position, understanding of our eternal existence beyond this body as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Our eternal occupation is to serve the Supreme Lord, and when we do that, only then we'll be able to come out of this bodily existence, come out of the entire material bondage, and become eligible to go back to God. So we'll conclude with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,